we got into this little cycle of codependency, but I'm sure everyone loves it. Sometimes the best part of completely counting a fighter out is in opening up the opportunity for them to shock the fricking world. At UFC 269, everyone thought Nunes was gonna take the win with ease. They didn't think Peña even deserved the shot. She was just good at trash talking and building a story that way, which is wild. How much people belittled her skills in the run-up. The way people compared the two fighters, it was as if the UFC was throwing a lamb to the lioness. But it was simply because Nunes was looking untouchable. She'd created this kind of legend around herself in 4 straight title defences, no losses on her record since 2014. But it worked out pretty good for Peña, eh? There was only really one person who was saying that Peña was going to win that fight, and now she's walking around with the belt. So you just remember that next time you let doubt enter your mind, yours or anyone else's. It will not help you. Yes, let it fuel you to prepare as much as you possibly can for whatever goal it is you're trying to reach. Yes, have multiple routes to success mapped out so that you can adapt to whatever comes your way. But do not let any of those routes that you envisage end in your failure, because then that's what will happen. Even when no one else is backing you, you need to back yourself. Now, the first round of that fight was going perfectly to script. Nunes was dominating, all very standard programming. But in the second round, Pena just turned that boxing on and eventually secured. Not scared.
Everyone and anyone, I don't care. I'm not scared.
And eventually secured the rear naked choke. There are 2 theories as to what happened here. Many people watching said that Peña overwhelmed Nunes with her pace and Amanda gassed herself out trying to land those power shots. But Nunes herself says that actually it was Peña's power that was the problem. She said she got caught for the first time in her life and her body didn't know how to react. She just lost her balance and it was all downhill from there. Which is a pretty honest answer, and she's actually giving the new champ her props. Nope, wait, scratch that. She went on to talk about all of the issues that she'd had in fight camp. She said she'd had multiple knee injuries that had prevented her from showing up 100%. She couldn't train properly, she couldn't work on conditioning, she couldn't cut weight properly. Regardless of any of the issues behind the scenes, that fight will go down as one of the greatest upsets of all time. And there's something thrilling about watching something with your eyeballs that your mind refused to believe. It's like seeing a unicorn. But what other unicorns have we seen in MMA in recent years? I hear you cry. Don't cry. You know what? You'll know I'm a monster gal. But the Rain watermelon flavour is better than the Monster watermelon flavour. Rain have got a blue raspberry. This is why you come here, right? Fuck Red Bull. The blue raspberry Rain, bomb. Peach from Relentless now, and raspberry that I haven't even tried yet. But Monster, step your pussy up. No, I don't my nose. Get down on it. Get down on it. So I'm not going to count down the 5 biggest upsets or whatever, because how can you really rank them? I'm just going to relive some of my favourites, starting with I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Well, maybe Nate wasn't, but we all were just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. McGregor was coming off that lightning fast knockout of the GOAT Jose Aldo, and had also just generally had one of the most dominant rises we've seen. Nate Diaz, meanwhile, was on vacation when he got the call to fight McGregor on 2 weeks' notice. Conor was on form in the run-up, talking about Diaz's physique, calling him soft.
Give us a quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5.
Building up this idea in everyone's head that this was one hell of a mismatch. Especially those fans that entered the sport with and because of Conor. They probably never even heard of Nate Diaz before this. What sad lives they must have led.
These other jiu-jitsu guys and wrestlers, y'all didn't know how to learn how to box, man.
It was looking like another... Ooh, hello! It was looking like it was going to be another win for McGregor in the first, but Diaz made it through, rocked him in the second, and then similarly to Pena, secured that rear naked choke brav. Joanna Jacek was on one hell of a run through the UFC, amassing an incredible 14-0 record and annihilating anyone the organisation put in front of her. She believed she was unbeatable. She believed she was unbeatable, and we've talked all about that inflexible mindset in another video that I'll link for you on the end screen. She certainly didn't believe that Rose Namajunas, with her 6-3 record, held a candle to the skills of the strawweight queen. And of course, Namajunas went on to shock the world at Madison Square Garden. She knocked out one of the most feared strikers in women's MMA history inside of the first round and rocketed her stock right up there. Speaking of feared women, Ronda Rousey was not only one of the most famous MMA athletes back in 2015, but she was making a name for herself outside of the fighting world as well. Starring in movies, appearing alongside The Rock at WrestleMania, and generally conquering whatever she put her hand to, while still dominating inside of the octagon. But you know what they say, the higher they climb, the harder they fall when they get kicked to the face by Holly Holm. The Mank, the myth, the legend, Michael Bisping. Here's a list of odds stacked against Bisping when he faced Luke Rockhold at UFC 199. Bisping had already lost spectacularly to Rockhold. Bisping wasn't training when he got the call. He was on the set of a movie. It was on 17 days' notice. He had one working eye. Of course, none of these factors stopped Bisping from immediately saying, hell yeah, and springing into action. Only for the bloody title. Bisping wasn't a guy to ever turn down a scrap, so he was certainly going to shoot his shot to take the belt off of a bitter rival. And he knocked Rockhold out in the first. Boom, baby. Matt Serra. You know? Like, not as a person, as a person. I just want to be around him. I just want to be held by him. I don't. But as a fighter, like, he was good, sure. He could beat me in a fight, no trouble. But in a sea of phenomenal talent, good doesn't quite cut it. Georges St Pierre, on the other hand, hold on. Flumpy, excuse me. Flumpy, I need to get up. Flumpy, excuse me, baby. Hold on. Georges St Pierre, on the other hand, was not only great, but already being touted as the greatest of all time. Matt Serra won season 4 of The Ultimate Fighter, which in itself is a group of people not quite good enough to just be given a contract. But that season, the winner was guaranteed a shot at GSP. Madness. Serra knocked the champ out in the first round. What the actual fuck? Of course, not only did GSP avenge that loss, he also went on to never lose again, become the GOAT in the eyes of many, and just generally be an adorable, wonderful human being. While Serra, on the other hand, retired with an 11-7 record. But one of those 11 will always be Rush. And that's something he can hold on to at night. Speaking of title upsets, this one was an upset, but maybe not entirely unexpected. We all know Anderson Silva is a cocky fuck, always playing around, taunting his opponents, showboating in the octagon. And one day we all kind of expected him to get caught out, but maybe what we didn't expect was who did it. Taking nothing away from Chris Weidman, but he's a wrestling standout. Did we expect a wrestling standout to be the one to catch Silva and knock him out cold? Ending his 17-fight win streak and claiming the belt. And finally, Fedor Emelianenko in his day was one of those fighters that was just so far beyond everyone else skill-wise, and it looked like his 9-year win streak would just carry on indefinitely. But in 2010, Fabricio Verdum silenced anyone that was saying such ridiculous things with a first-round triangle choke. Then last year, he called for the rematch in front of Fedor's home crowd, no less, as the last Emperor had a last-minute opponent drop out. Why that fight didn't happen, I don't know, but alas, the organisation found another worthy soul for Emelianenko to extract. This weekend, Nunes is looking to erase the bitter taste of defeat in her rematch against Pena. Hopefully, she's had a decent camp to get rid of any excuses. And the two have been coaching opposite one another in the latest season of The Ultimate Fighter and building a storyline that way. But honestly, none of that reality TV shit concerns me. What does concern me is Nunes' mindset going into this fight. She's gone from the champion to the challenger, and as we talked about in the first Israel Adesanya video, which I'll link for you on the end screen, the challenger is always hungry, never satisfied, always pushing to prove something, improve something, and never getting complacent. And this hunger could be just the push that Nunes needs to get better. She said herself that it actually does give her a different feeling to chase for something. For so long in her career, she was comfortable. And now, this is motivating her. So no matter how good you are, or whatever it is that you do, I'm not judging. Don't let yourself get comfortable at the top. Getting comfortable means getting soft and slow. No longer evolving, just reveling in your own majesty. And not looking ahead or behind you. Because while you're not getting better, everyone else is catching up. Attack every challenge with the tenacity of someone that has nothing to lose and everything to prove. Only time will tell if the lioness is able to reclaim her throne. The last fight seemed to suggest that if you don't give up, Nunes will. But she didn't really showcase any of her skills in that fight. We know she can walk down the most technical strikers. We know that she can submit the most dangerous submission artists. And by her own words, she took the full 25 minutes against Durandamy just because she wanted to. Of course, Pena has also demonstrated that she is extremely capable of winning this fight. But Nunes, in the first matchup, seemed to bafflingly disregard everything that we know makes her great. So I guess we'll see whether her confidence is her downfall once again, and whether her gas tank depletes, leaving Pena still there, still rocking and shocking. Oh, and the potential for pouting doesn't end there. Both Kai Kara-France and Sergey Pavlovich are on this card, and both of them have proven time and time again that they have the skills to cause an upset. And as perennial underdogs, will be looking to join Pena in victory this weekend. I just can't wait to see how this storyline turns out. Let me know who you think is going to walk away with an upset, and of course which historic upset left the biggest mark on you. You know I love the drama. Like, subscribe, come hang out with me over on Instagram, and I'll link that Israel Adesanya mindset video and that Joanna Jędrzejczyk inflexible mindset video for you on the end screen, and I'll see you next frickin' week. See you next Monday, babes.